another video. You join me today on a lovely day. The weather is finally changing here in the UK into something a little bit more sunny. Of course, we are today in my MK7 Golf R. I've been extremely busy with this car as of late. I have a big trip coming up, more on that I will go into very shortly. But yes, today, as you would have seen by the title and thumbnail, we have had quite a big expense on the car. Now, this is out of choice, so something that I'm gonna be hopefully accused of complaining about, but I am on my way back from Volkswagen Group Specialist down in Swindon. The car has been there for about a week or so, having a pretty big job done, and that I want to run through with you today. I have a very big bill here. It's actually 3 pages long, which is yeah, maybe a little bit daunting, but something that needed to be done. I want to maybe shed a bit of light on it because it's something which I don't think a lot of people really get done to their cars. But yeah, all in all, just enjoying the weather in this car, to be honest. I've done a lot of miles in it. I think maybe the last time it was on the channel was, of course, documenting the 100,000 mile milestone on the car. The car is actually now on 101,771. So even though the car has been away having quite a fair amount of work done, I've still done a fair amount of miles in the car, which is good. As you would have seen as well fairly recently, I have been busy changing the car up a little bit, adding some more modifications and ultimately getting it ready for a big trip. Now that is a trip ultimately to the Nürburgring. I'm actually going to be leaving very soon when you see this video. Pretty much this is going to be the start of the really busy season for this car, which is why I wanted to get this done. And as I said, this thing is 3 pages long. We'll get to my destination, we'll get back to base. I'll run you through this and essentially some more info about why I've done it and some bits and bobs like that. Alrighty then, it's certainly a bit of an art of getting out of this thing, but yeah, back at base now, got the car back, and to be honest, as I said, I have been very busy getting this car ready for this trip. But this car has actually been away at multiple different places. Next week, it's going away again for something pretty drastic. But before we dive into this 3-page bill, I need to tell you exactly what it is that I've had done. Now this car, nearing 102,000 miles. It's on the stock engine and it's running 500 horsepower, so manual, blah, blah, blah. You probably know all of the details. This car is obviously serviced and maintained regularly. And to be honest, in my ownership, I haven't really had many big bills in terms of maintenance, unlike my M3, as I'm sure you all are aware of. There's obviously been some big bills in terms of the modifications that we've done to the car, but this is definitely the biggest maintenance bill that I've had to date, and that is because I've had the timing chain kit done. Now what is quite concerning, and there is perhaps a little bit of a myth behind the timing chain kit on these cars and on these engines, that they are supposed to survive the life of the car, which on average is about 150,000 miles. I plan on obviously keeping this car forever, and I know that eventually I'm going to go through an engine and forge one, but I want to do everything in my power to at least make this engine last as long as possible. Some people say that they don't bother with it, but this, being on the original engine, running a lot of power, being a track car that is driven hard a lot, I wanted to play it on the safe side and get it done, along with a few other bits. Now this is a pretty hefty bill, but it is, well, to be honest, it is really reasonable considering the amount of work that we've had done. So let me dive in, show you exactly what we've done, and in theory, according to the timing chain at least, ready for a good chunk of miles more in the future. Now what I've actually done is made a copy of the invoice, just so that I can blur out the obvious, but this is the bill. Basically a rundown of what we've done. As I said, replace the timing chain assembly with the oil pump chain. Now the oil pump failing is actually a big reason as to why these engines do go, and actually a common reason. They fail, and also the injectors fail. The injectors I've already had done on this car, so that's not something to worry about. But yeah, basically the complete kit. I replaced timing covers upper and lower. I've also had the brake fluid done. I've actually put RBF 700 in the car. I normally run RBF 660, which is what a lot of cars run. A lot of track orientated cars run 660, but I thought I'd try out 700. Brake feel obviously feels really good, but we'll see what it's like on track. I've also had the AC condenser replaced. Now, when I did the overhaul of the front end, where I completely cut it up, which actually surprisingly went down really well on the channel. I thought it was going to be feedback 2.0 from the splitter, but to be honest, a lot of you guys really like what I've done, which is fantastic. Makes a change for me, to be honest. So yeah, obviously what we did, if you didn't watch that video, was that we basically, made a massive grille on the front end. Now, normally the OEM grille kind of stops about here, so everything below my fingers would be a grille, and this would be part of the bumper. So basically where the number plate sits up here, we cut off. I've replaced it with like a DIY mesh, which I'll be honest is chicken wire from B&Q, and I did say that in that video, but people still like it, which is beyond me, considering that this is wood. Long and short, a lot of people notice behind here, I don't know how well you're going to see this, a lot of people noticed that the AC condenser behind that was absolutely mullied, much like what my oil cooler from Racing Line is looking at the moment. But that was, I think, the original unit behind there, or at least a very aged one, and so yeah, it was pretty chipped and obviously not running as it should. Now, one thing with this, and one thing which I was actually told before, was that when the condensers actually get really chipped up and not working as efficiently, it does affect obviously the airflow and therefore the temps. So I had that replaced. It's actually a black unit, which looks really smart. You can hardly see it, to be honest, but yes, we had that fitted. I was going to do it myself, but obviously the aircon needed to be regassed and everything, and to be honest, yeah, I just got VGS to do it whilst they had the car. A couple of other things which they've done for me anyway, empty the catch can. I do that regularly anyway, but whilst they had the car, it's just a nice gesture of them just to do that. What else have we had? Obviously oil filter and oil change. So yeah, oil and filter basically. I've got Motul 300V oil in it. If you're wondering what oil I run, that is what I run. There are a few other things which were noted. Some things I know about already, and some things which I'm going to have a look at in the future. Mainly the cam bridge seal is starting to leak, but yeah, that was quite a big extra to an already big bill. So I thought, there's only early signs, it's not too horrendous. I thought we'll just wait and do that somewhere down the line. Now, looking at this properly, we've got the description of all the parts and all the labour that was done. Obviously, quite a lot of labour for the timing chain kit. So it's 8 hours on that, and then obviously a load of parts. The thing is, it's not just the chain itself that you need to do whilst you're there. There are a lot of different things, ancillary things like screws, belts, that kind of thing. Turning over to page 2, you can see this is literally all parts on here. So the actual timing chain, cylinder screw, blah blah blah, sealant, gasket, valve, screws, magnets, tensioner, and yeah, it does add up pretty quickly. And then down here, we've obviously got the brake fluid, so that was done, and then the AC condenser as well. So to be honest, a lot of this is actually in parts, and the subtotal of the parts plus the labour was £2,085. But to be honest, worth every penny. It's something which I needed to get done because I just don't want to risk it. I still do rely on this car a lot, especially with this trip that I got coming up. I've got 4 track days booked, a lot of miles, and there's a lot of friends coming, so I want it to be performing as good as it can be. There's obviously no signs of anything being wrong, but this is something which can just go at any moment. I'm actually doing a track day on the Nürburgring, which of course you're going to be seeing a video on. So yeah, the car is going to be doing a lot of miles, a lot of hard miles, that is for sure. So yeah, brake fluid, AC condenser fitting, obviously I supplied that anyway. And yeah, long and short of it, was about a £3,000 bill, including the VAT and everything. A big job, something which definitely I'm not qualified or skilled enough to do myself. But yeah, in theory, this thing is good to go for a long time. And to be honest, with what I have planned for this car soon, I'm really, really excited to show it to you because it's gonna look a lot different. Maybe a bit of a clue. I do have some prep to do to that to get it ready for that. But yeah, timing chain has been done. If you have any questions about this, do let me know in the comments. I've personally done it. I know a lot of cars have. In fact, when I was at VGS recently, when I had the baffled sump fitted, there was another car which I think was on around 90,000 miles. The guy had just bought it, planning to do a lot of modifications on it, and he was having the timing chain done. Up until then, I wasn't aware that it was actually something which was really advised on doing. I was basically asked when was my timing chain done, and my answer was perhaps a little bit of a surprise. 102,000 miles, never been done. It's a track car and it's running 500 horsepower. So yes, I've got it done just to be on the safe side. Slightly more straightforward video for you today, but something I wanted to document and kind of let you guys know about. Of course, if you have any questions, do let me know in the comments, or do contact VGS, the people who did the work on this car. They do a ton of them, so please do find their details down below if you are interested. Something I just wanted to get done just to be on the safe side, as I said. For me today though, in this video, that is gonna wrap it up. Do keep your eyes peeled though, because there's a lot of stuff happening with this car in the next few weeks. Some really, really exciting stuff, which I'm very much so looking forward to sharing with you. So yes, do keep your eyes peeled and stay tuned for that. But for me today, that is it. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please do make sure you leave a like and make sure to subscribe for all the adventures still to come.